Good day, everyone. Entrepreneurial Mind students. Okay, so I'll be recording one of our lesson for midterm topic. Okay, so let's just have a refreshment of what we had learned from last lesson that we had last week. Okay, so we talked about basic economics, the concept of productivity, the concept of basic economics, the macro and microeconomics, the concept of demand, the law of demand, economic problem, production as well. All right. Price ceiling and price floor. Okay. So that's for our last lesson. So for today, pag-usapan naman po natin yung scarcity versus shortage and other topics under this lesson. Okay, so when we talk about scarcity, okay, and shortage, it is two different two different concepts. Scarcity always exists. There are never enough goods and services to supply all wants and needs. So walang katapusang pangangailangan. That's scarcity. So yun po, never ending or hindi kahit kailanman hindi magiging sapat. No? On the other hand, when we talk about shortage occurs when consumers want more of a good or service than producers can make available at a particular price. Shortage may be temporary or long term. Pwede siyang long term din, no? Pero hindi siya lifetime. Or it could be temporary. Okay, other example of shortage that we have recently dealt with is, yung oil and gasoline, yung pagtaas, no? This past few weeks, months, no? Grabe yung pagtaas ng oil, gasoline, no? Kung di ako nagkakamali, from 60 plus, no, to 90 plus. No? Grabe, no? Grabe yung itinaas. Minsan ayaw mo na lang no magsumakay sa iyong sasakyan, no? Ayaw mo na lang sumakay ng sasakyan, gusto mo na lang mag-commute dahil sobrang mahal, no? So those are samples. Other than that, yung mga important or essential goods during pandemic. What are those? Vitamins, PPEs, vaccine. Yeah. So yun po, nagkakaroon ng shortage. All right. So the nature of wants. Okay, unlimited wants, limited income, limited resources, prioritizing wants and needs. Sa concept ng wants and needs, alam ko, if you are a psych student, alam natin na wants is not that much important. Needs is much more important. That's essential for living. Meron pa nga tayong hierarchy of needs. But in regards to the topic of economics, wants, when we talk about wants, kasama na rin po yung needs. Yeah. So kasama na rin po yung needs doon. Basically, hindi siya magkahiwalay, no? Ayan, compare sa psychological terms ng wants and needs. All the desires and aspirations and motives of humans are known as human wants in economics. And the wants that can be satisfied with goods and services of any kinds are economic wants. Like for example, food, yeah, shelter, clothing, those are economic wants, etc. are economic human wants. So what are human wants? In other words, sabi ni Pearson, what is an effective desire for particular things which express itself in the effort of sacrifice necessary to obtain them. Okay. Ito yung desire mo, no, to get that thing, no, para makuha mo ang isang bagay, produkto, serbisyo, no, na may kasamang gawa. Yan. Hindi lang siya basta desire. Wants and desire are quite different. Desire, gustuhin, ito yung wish mo, no? Desire mo na makuha ang isang bagay. When we talk about wants, ito yung desire mo makuha ang isang bagay with your own capacity. Yung may kakayahan ka na kunin yung bagay na ito. That's wants, no? Kasi you have work, you have job, kaya nga nakalagay dito, which express itself in the efforts of or sacrifice necessary to obtain them. Okay? So sabi din ni person, he suggested 4 stages of wants. First is the scarcity of a thing, kawalan. No? Next is the desire to get the scarce thing. Yung desire mo, hindi mo pa sure kung paano mo siya makukuha, your desire. Next is the sufficient amount of money to satisfy a desire. You think about paano makukuha yung desire na ito, paano mo makukuha yung kawalan na ito, no? Paano? Then it could be possibly, no, ikaw yung magtatrabaho, mag-iipon, and so on, some sort of efforts and sacrifice, no? And lastly, it's your readiness to spend money in order to satisfy the desire. Okay, so minsan you have the desire, no, pero nung meron ka ng sufficient money, minsan ang hirap pang bitawan yung pera. It happens, no? I remember when I was readily buying a car, no, few years ago. Gustong-gusto ko talaga makuha yung bagay na ito. Pero nung hawak ko na yung pera, buo na siya, parang hirap, no, ilabas. Parang hirap pakawalan. No? Am I that ready na ba? No? So parang ganon. So wants and desire, I already mentioned you this. A desire refers to a wish to have something, but a want is an effective desire which could be satisfied by using a commodity. Every desire is not a want. A person may desire to own a car, but many lack money to buy it. Yeah. The desire would become a want if a person has resources to satisfy it. Okay, desire lang siya kung wala ka namang resources. But magiging want siya if you had all the resources to satisfy your desire. Okay? We have 3 classifications of human wants. We have necessaries, comforts, and luxuries. All right, so as the necessaries, it includes basic wants, which are essential for living and maintaining efficiently of work. Ito yung mga example, food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, and educational facilities are generally regarded as necessaries. Okay, we have 3 different types of necessaries: the necessaries of existence, necessary of efficiency, and the conventional necessaries. Pag-usapan natin isa-isa. Necessary of existence, these are goods without which existence of life not possible. Food, clothing, etc. Kaya nga siya necessaries of existence. Right? Food, shelter, water, those are necessary of existence. While on the other hand, necessaries of efficiency, those goods naman which are required to make us efficient. Let's say, for example, the use of study table and a chair may help a student to read and write easily. So those are necessaries of efficiency. How about other people who are working? Chair then, no? Mobile phones. Those are necessaries of efficiencies. Kasi magiging inefficient ka kung wala ka ng mga bagay na yun. No? Lastly, we have conventional necessaries. These are goods which have become necessaries by force and of social customs and rituals. Ganyan. Kunyari, hindi naman importante ganun magpakasal sa simbahan at magkaroon ng bonggang kasal, pero dahil ito yung sinusunod na custom, no, ng iba, susunod ka na rin. Conventional necessaries. Pwede naman sa West na lang o ganyan. No? Pero dahil ito yung nakasanayan, ito yung sinusunod. No, parang ganyan. Comforts, no? Again, we have 3 different types of human wants. We have necessary, comforts, luxuries. Let's have now comforts. Wants for comforts arise after necessaries are made possible. Let's say, for example, people require room coolers or AC in summer. Yan, para mas maging komportable ka, you want those things. Such comforts are expected to increase the efficiency and standard of living of the people. Nagiging status din siya. Status of living. Symbol. Mas komportable ka nga naman sumakay sa sasakyan, no? Na sarili mong sasakyan kaysa mag-commute. No? So yun po, that's comfort. And lastly, we have this what we call luxuries. No? These are objects that are desired. Kumbaga sa psychology terms, we call this want. No? But this in economics, no, we call it luxuries. These are objects that are desired for pleasure. Yeah, for pleasure po siya. Okay? Alright. They are not necessaries of life. One can do without luxuries as they are superfluous. Yan. Meron tayong dalawang klase ng luxuries. We have this harmful luxuries and harmless luxuries. Pag sinabi natin harmful luxuries, ito yung mga nakakasama sa ating katawan. Yung mga alak, mga vices natin, sigarilyo, no, and so on. No, those are harmful luxuries. Another thing na hindi naman harmful is yung tinatawag natin harmless luxuries. Kung di naman harmful sa atin pero meron tayo, those are harmless. Paintings, so nakaka-relax pa nga minsan. Okay? So ito po yung diagram, no, ng human wants. We have three classifications of human wants: necessaries, comforts, and luxuries. And necessaries are divided into three: necessaries of existence, necessaries of efficiency, and conventional necessaries. And in luxuries, we have what we call harmful luxuries and harmless luxuries. So that's for human wants. Okay. So let's talk about now consumption, the use of goods or service, the ultimate end of economy. Yeah. So napag-usapan natin yung production, supplies, distribution. No? Now let's talk about consumption. This is the ultimate goal, okay, of economics. Yung paggamit, no, ng produkto, ng serbisyo. Yeah, that's the ultimate end of economy. So how to make a good buy, choosing the right kinds of goods, the time of buy, the best place to buy. Examples of consumptions. No? We have consumption in the process of buying goods, buying using goods and services like fuel consumption. Yeah. Elephants' consumption of food is phenomenal. Adults eat between 200 to 600 pounds of food a day. We live in a consumer society. This bananas for export, not domestic consumption. Yeah, those are, such things in consumption. All right. Okay, so if you have questions about this, don't hesitate to ask me through chat, PM, FB messengers, or sa ating platform in the class. Okay. Next, we have what we call false advertisement. It's advertisement, not advertisement. It's false advertisement. So pag sinabi nating false advertisement, ito yung parang sa Tagalog is sa ating sariling wika, nabudol. Nabudol. Yan, attractive advertisements. Ito yung tipong ang gaganda sa nakaka-attract, no? Ang ganda ng message, pictures, no, billboards, TV ads, no. Pero pag in reality, no, expectation versus reality nga daw, hindi ganun kaganda. So that's attractive advertisement. Testimonial advertisements, ito yung mga daming nagte-testify, no, na maganda ito, maganda sa vision na ganito, yung pala binabayaran din naman pala yung mga yun, no. So para mag-testify ng mga magaganda katangian ng service and ng produkto. Yan. Yung mga bloggers, no? 'Di ba ngayon, no, sinesendan sila ng mga produkto ng mga suppliers tapos ibina-vlog nila. No? So alangan naman sabihin nila pangit, 'di ba? So hindi na sila makaka-receive ng free. Ano nga ganyan, no? Emotional appeal of advertisement. Pag sinabi nating emotional appeal, no, kapag nakita mo sa TV ad, ang sasaya ng gumagamit, parang lumilipad, no, sa sobrang saya. Pag gumamit ng Whisper with Wings. Just kidding. Ito totoo, di ba? Tapos, ikaw din gagamit ka din, no? Kasi feeling mo, lilipad ka din, no? So, emotional appeal. Yan. Guarantees. Yung mga nag-guarantee po sa atin na ano ba to? Gaganda yan, puputi ka, kikinis ka, hahaba ang buhok mo, and so on, no? Puputing ngipin mo, ayan. Those guarantees yung pala, hindi naman pala totoo, no? And lastly, contest and premiums na kapag bumili ka, meron kang raffle, buy one, I buy three, take two, ganyan. And premiums, no? And aside from product, services, no, as well, no? Ganun din. Minsan nga kahit sa HR industry, no, sino dito nag-work sa BPO, nag-try na nag-work sa BPO, no, ang daming offer. Mga incentives or ano ba to, yung sign-in bonus, yung pala. Makukuha mo pa yan after ng contract, no? Grabe. So yun po, no, ang daming false advertisement. Okay? So how the government, guarding against fraud, you know, paano gumagalaw ang government, no, about these kinds of fraud? Yeah. Fraud is an act of deceiving, cheating, or swindling in order to get something by taking advantage of another person. Fortune telling. Ano pa? Employment rackets, talent rackets, investment fraud. Ito yung kilalang ngayon to at sikat na sikat, ano. And economic fraud. Pag sinabi natin economic fraud, mga criminals may use your identity details to open bank account. Ayan. Yung mga malaki ang investment frauds, no, that can really affect the economy na, no. That's economic fraud. Yan. Okay, so paano naman 'to pinoprotektahan ng gobyerno? Yung mga consumers, no? Tayo mga mamimili. Okay, we have rights to safety, rights to be informed, the rights to choose, the right to be heard, right to compensation against damage, right to a clean environment, and right to consumers education. Dapat kabisado natin ang mga rights natin as a consumer. Okay? Resource allocation. So let's talk about allocation ng mga resources. Para lang siyang budget, no, ng Pilipinas na different regions, no, different offices has different budget allocations. Yeah. Kaya nga kapag bumababa ang allocation ng isang departamento tapos yung departamento na to is napaka-importante, nagwawala yung mga tao. Ganun. So yun, sa research nga magkano ilan lang yung porsyento, no, na nilalaan ng gobyerno. If I'm not mistaken, nasa 0.40, 30 something lang siya. Di man lang umabot ang 1, ano. So yun po ay kung tinataas natin, no, di sana ang daming scientist ngayon. Syempre malaki sahod nila, di ba? Kapag meron silang porsyento subsidy ng government, no. Sana marami tayong naimbento, sana marami tayong kinikilalang scientist, pero di ba? Sabi nga ng isang senator is, research kayo ng research, hindi ko talaga maintindihan. Para saan ba yung research na yan? Ako, matalino akong tao, pero hindi ko kailangan ng mga research na yan. Ayan, sounds familiar. No? So yan po. Education. Kapag maliit ang allocation, nagwawala naman ng mga guro. Yeah. Okay? So yeah, when we talk about allocation, the designation of resource to specific use or whenever possible to some alternative uses. What to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. Ayan. Okay. Next topic is about forms of business organization. So we have single proprietorship, partnership, and corporation. So alam naman natin kapag single proprietorship, ito yung ikaw yung owner, no, ng sarili mong negosyo. Pag partnership naman po, meron kang partner, no, sa iyong negosyo. At kapag corporation, maraming tao ang nagmamanage ng isang negosyo. And usually, malaking negosyo. Okay, so we have advantages and disadvantages of these three, no, classifications of business organization. So advantages po ng individual proprietorship, business is simple to set up. Totoo nga naman. Decision making is clear-cut. Earnings are taxed only once as personal income. Disadvantage naman ito, the owner has unlimited liability. The owner makes the decision. Business dies with owners. Kapag tinamad na si owner, yung business mamamatay na rin. Walang sasalo. Yan. Partnership naman, advantages. Business is relatively easy to set up. More management skills are available. Two heads are better than one. Yan. Earnings are taxed only once as the personal income of the partners. While on the other hand, the disadvantage is that there is unlimited liability for the partners. Decision making can be complicated kasi ang dami nagde-decide. Mas lalo na siguro sa corporation. No? The company has limited ability to raise capital. Partnerships can be unstable, no? Minsan yung partner mo nawawala na hindi niya na kaya. Okay, kapag nagkaroon ng conflict or na-bankrupt yung partner mo, no, umaalis na lang bigla, lungkot. So ikaw yung magbabantay, no, medyo ang hirap, no? Sa corporation type naman, advantages, there is limited liability for owners. And a corporation has a separate legal status. It is able to raise large sums of capital through issuing bonds and stocks. No? It has an internal life or perpetual existence. It is able to recruit professional management and to change bad management due to separation of ownership from management. Tama naman. No? Disadvantages, corporation income is taxed twice. Once as corporate profits, then is personal income. Dividends na tinatawag. There are greater possibilities for management disagreement. Kasi nga marami nagmamanage, marami nagdi-disagree kapag yung isa is nagpo-propose. No? There is the possibility of conflicting goals between the owners of the corporation, principals, and management, the agents. Okay? And so that's the type of business organization we have. Next is the market structures. Yan, in economic theory, pag sinabi nating perfect, ito yung structure ng market natin. Pag sinabi nating perfect competition, ito po siya. No? Occurs when all companies sell identical products, pare-parehas po ng products yung mga kumpanya, market share does not influence price. Companies are able to enter or exit without barriers. Buyers have perfect or full information and companies cannot determine prices. That's perfect competition. When we talk about monopolistic competition, occurs when an industry has many firms, offering products that are similar but not identical. Similar but not identical. Unlike monopoly, these firms have little power to curtail supply or raise prices to increase profits. Ayan. So let's say, for example, monopolistic competition. Kaya nga siya mono. Isang industry, maraming produkto, pare-parehas, pero hindi siya identical. No? Parang, let's say, for example, government. No? Tapos marami siyang ino-offer na bigas. But different types ng bigas. Not really that identical. Okay? And these firms have little power to curtail supply. Ayan, maliit lang yung power nila into supply. Pag sinabi naman nating oligopoly, arises when a small number of large firms have almost of their sales in an industry. Ayan. It could be one industry tapos marami yung nagtitinda. Siguro ini-endorse ng iba or dinidistribute ng iba. Examples nito yung abound and include the auto industry. Yan, no? Cable television. Yan. Kaunti lang yung nagsusupply nito. No? Pero maliliit lang sila. No? It could be maliit, malaki na firm. Pero halos sila na lang yung wala ka ng ibang choices kundi sila na lang. No? Parang ganon. Air travel. Ilan lang ba meron tayo dito? Diba? Philippine Airlines, Asia, ano ba to? Ano ba yun? Cebu Pacific, Philippine Airlines, PAL, and Air Asia. Yan. So, tatatlo lang ata, no? Yung mga international travel na. So, yun po, no? And when we talked about monopoly as described by Irving Fisher, sabi dito is a market with the absence of competition. Wala siyang ka-competition. No? Creating a situation where a specific person or enterprise, the only supplier. of all particular things. Siya yung only suppliers. Yung oligopoly meron pa, no? Meron pa siyang ka-competition pero konti lang. But when we talk about monopoly, siya lang, no? Sige nga, can you think about something na product service na sila lang yung meron? Oh, 'di ba? So yan, that's what we call monopoly. All right, so let's talk about now price elasticity. Pag sinabi natin price elasticity, it refers to varying level of responses of different group of people in relation to the changes in price, different commodities available in the market. The elasticity of demand is commonly referred to as price elasticity or elasticity of demand. Okay? Because the price of a good or service is the most common economic factor used to measure it. For example, a change in the price of luxury car can cause a change in the quantity demanded. Kapag tumaas ang presyo, bababa yung mga mamimili. Ganun po siya, parang no, law of demand. Ano? So, ganun po. Okay? So pag sinabi natin elastic, the demand is elastic when there is a greater change in quantity demanded as a response to a change in price. Ibig sabihin, pag nagbago ang pangangailangan, kapag nagbago ang presyo, magbabago din po ang dami ng mamimili. Ganyan. That's elastic. So sumasabay kaya nga siya elastic, no? Kapag tumataas ang presyo, bumababa ang presyo, nagkakaroon din ng elastic movement ang quantity demanded or yung demand. Pag sinabi naman natin inelastic, kapag nagbago ang presyo, hindi magbabago. No? Let's say for example, bigas. Pag ginawa kong 100 pesos yung bigas, may bibili pa. Yes. Diba? Yung demand, ganun pa din. Siyempre, essential goods. Yeah. Ganun po, no? Pikit mata na lang. Ayun, no? Next, unitary. It is a unitary when there is an equal change naman, no, in quantity demanded. Yun yung unitary equal change. Nagbago ang presyo, nagbago din equally yung demand. Okay? Perfectly elastic demand when there is an infinite change in quantity demanded while there is no change in price. No, pagtaas ng dami ng nangangailangan pero yung price ganun pa din. Let's say for example, yung mga presyo ng vitamins during pandemic. Ganun pa din yung price, pero yung demand, no, pataas. Gasoline, no, ganun pa rin yung demand, pero, yung price pala, yung price hindi tumataas, not gasoline kasi tumataas siya. What else? Yung mga PPEs, yung presyo ng, ibang mga bilihin pero hindi siya tumataas. Pero not really common ito, no? Kasi kapag tumataas ang presyo ng bilihin, no? At kapag dumadami ang demand, tumataas ang presyo. But this time, nagbabago yung demand pero yung presyo ganun pa rin. Ganun siya. But perfectly inelastic demand naman, there is no change to the present quantity demanded as an outcome of change of price. No, nagbabago naman ang presyo kabaliktaran. Presyo naman ng pabago pero ang demand is the same. Example nito yung monopolized by one producer. Magtaas man ng presyo yung isang, di ba yung monopoly nga, isa lang yung isang company, isa lang ang produkto. Magtaas man ng price, wala tayong magagawa. Yun pa rin, no? Bibili pa rin tayo, bibili. There is no change in quantity demand. Alright, so that's it. So yan po. Thank you so much for active listening. Then again, if you have questions, don't be hesitate to ask me, PM me, no, or dun sa ating platform sa klase. Alright, so I hope you learned something for this lesson. Thank you and God bless to everyone. Bye for now.